The BJP constituted its manifesto committee on the 30th of March. And within 14 days, they released a document which is not titled manifesto. It is titled Modi Ki Guarantee. I've written in today's newspapers. It is in the Indian Express, but that edition is not available in Kerala. That the BJP is no longer a political party. It has become a cult. And the cult worships Mr. Narendra Modi. It is a party of cult worshippers. And I will have more to say about the BJP in due course. I'm going to give you the principal features of the Congress manifesto. And if there are any questions, I shall be very happy to answer them to the best of my ability. The manifesto is based on 3 words: work, wealth, and welfare. These are shorthand for the 3 major problems that are faced by India in terms of economy and the political situation. The first is work. The section on work talks about the gravest challenge to India. The gravest challenge to India is unemployment. I'm sorry that some sections underestimate the problem. This is the gravest problem. In my experience, we've never had such a high rate of unemployment. I don't want to burden you with statistics, but the numbers are very clear. The labor participation rate has come down. The working population number has come down. Female participation in labor has come down drastically. And unemployment is the highest among graduates. Among graduates, the unemployment is as much as 42%, which is why you have this humiliating phenomenon of graduates, postgraduates, engineers, MBA holders applying for police constable job and Kalasi job in the railways. Work, to my mind, is the most important thing to create jobs. We have a whole section on how to create jobs, and I want the people of Kerala to know that we have a concrete, comprehensive plan consisting of several initiatives to create jobs. The BJP, before it came to power, Mr. Narendra Modi promised to create 2 crore jobs a year. In 10 years, he should have created 20 crore jobs. On the contrary, jobs have been destroyed. Jobs have been destroyed in the MSME sector. The MSME sector alone has lost millions of jobs. The IT sector in 2023 reduced its total jobs by 2 lakhs. Jobs have been destroyed in the public sector. Instead of the public sector being a job creator, it is becoming a job destroyer. The second section is on wealth. Unless we create wealth, what is there to distribute? How do we share the wealth with the people? India is among the most inequitable, unequal countries in the world. As you all know, the top 50% own most of India's wealth and earn most of India's income. Again, I don't want you to burden with numbers. I have the numbers. The bottom 50%, the bottom 50% that gets a fraction of India's income and owns a fraction of India's wealth. So we have to create wealth. Here I want to make a mention of the Communist Party of India, Marxist. I have read their manifesto. There is nothing about wealth creation. There is nothing about job creation. They are saying the usual things which every party says about saving democracy and saving liberalism, but not a word about how will they create jobs? How will they create wealth? It's perhaps because the CPM does not hope to lead a government in India ever, nor if the India bloc is elected to power, it's likely that the CPM will not stay in the government. In the past also, CPM has declined to join the government because it is not likely to be in the government, not likely to form the government. The CPM has completely ignored job creation and wealth creation. On that ground, the CPM has no place in this election. This is not a state election. This is a national election to elect a national government. And the CPM, our principal adversary in Kerala, has nothing to say about job creation and wealth creation. The third section of the Congress manifesto is about welfare. Now, welfare is very important. Whatever Mr. Narendra Modi may say, and his puppet Niti Ayog may say, there are poor people in India. If there are no poor people in India, why do so many million people go to Maganrega work? If there are no poor people in India, why does Mr. Modi's government give 5 kilograms of rice or wheat every month per head to 80 crore people? If there are no poor people in India, why do laborers from Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, Jharkhand migrated to the south of India? If there are no poor people in India, why do Indians, young Indians, educated Indians migrate abroad to the US, Canada, and Australia? If there are no poor people in India, why do millions of workers migrate to the Middle East? There are poor people in India. So every party must be committed to the welfare of the poor. And we have a whole section on welfare, what we will do to use, what we will do for women, what we will do for the scheduled caste, what we will do for the scheduled tribes, what we will do for the neglected sections of Indian people. So this is how broadly the Congress manifesto is arranged. Let me read to you, list to you very briefly the major promises. For agricultural sector, we have promised a legal guarantee for MSP. The promise of MSP is made by every party. We are promising a legal guarantee for MSP. We are promising a commission to go into agricultural indebtedness. And if the commission recommends agricultural loan waiver, we will waive the loan. Please remember, in 2007-8, it is the UPA government which waived agricultural loans on a scale of about 60,000 crore rupees. So we will waive the loan if the commission recommends a loan waiver. We are also promising a crop insurance scheme, which is a unique scheme. It is farm specific. Every farmer who owns produce half an acre, 1 acre, 2 acres, every farmer will be individually insured under the crop insurance scheme. And if his produce fails, he will get crop insurance, irrespective of the fact that in another part of the village, the field has yielded a good yield. It is no longer based on block or taluk or even panchayat. It is a specific farmer will be covered by crop insurance. And we have also promised under Maganrega a daily wage of 400 rupees per Maganrega worker. These have left a deep impression in Tamil Nadu. It is becoming the talking point in Tamil Nadu, and I'm sure it will be no different in Kerala. We are also promising a socio-economic caste census, something which Mr. Narendra Modi is carefully avoiding. He does not mention a word about socio-economic caste census. Unless there is a socio-economic caste census, you cannot implement reservation in the true sense. Unless we know how many people are there among OBC, scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, how can you plan reservation? How can you implement reservation? Those who support reservation, if they don't support a socio-economic caste census, their support for reservation is a bogus support. Therefore, we are emphasizing a socio-economic caste census. We have also promised that all education loans where the principal amount has been defaulted or the interest has been defaulted will be waived. The one-time waiver of all defaulted educational loans as on 15th March 2024. We are promising an urban employment guarantee scheme similar to Maganrega for urban poor. We are promising for the youth an apprenticeship program. There are 45 lakh industries in India which are obliged to appoint at least one apprentice under the Apprenticeship Act. This act is not being properly enforced today. I don't think even the Prime Minister knows about this existence of the act. We will amend the act. We will require every industry to employ at least one apprentice. We will ensure that the apprentice gets a stipend of 1 lakh per year, which is about 8,500 rupees per year. And at the end of the 1-year training period, he or she will be employed in the same industry as a regular employee. We have promised to fill the 30 lakh vacancies in the central government and central government organizations. There are 30 lakh vacancies. On the other hand, there are millions of unemployed men and women. Why has Mr. Modi's government not filled these vacancies? These vacancies have accumulated over the last 10 years. We will fill the 30 lakh job vacancies in exactly 1 year. And we have announced a Mahalakshmi scheme under which the very poor will be given 1 lakh per year to bring them up to some level of income where they can exist. We are also promising to bring a special law which will say bail is the rule, jail is the exception. Remember, it was a great son of Kerala, Justice Krishnaiah, in 1986 laid down the law. Bail is the rule, jail is the exception, with the words of Justice Krishnaiah. That rule is rarely followed in lower judiciary, magistrates, district judges. Ultimately, everybody cannot go to the Supreme Court to get bail. 65% of prisoners are under trials. They are not convicts. Why are they in jail? They should not be in jail. And of the under trials, 90% are OBC, SC and ST. The upper caste rarely end up in jail. 90% of under trials are OBC, SC, and ST. Therefore, we are making a special law that bail is the rule, jail is the exception. Everybody, after the first 15 days of interrogation by the police or the CBI, must be granted bail. At best, he should be in jail for about 30 days or so. Investigation can be complete. Most crimes are allegedly petty crimes. Therefore, you should be granted bail. So we're going to make a special law. We have many other promises. Our 5 Nyay guarantees, you're all aware of the Nyay guarantees. We have a guarantee on equity. We have guarantees for youth. We have guarantees for women. We have guarantees for farmers. We have guarantees for workers. These are the 5 major guarantees. Finally, I know I've taken a little too long. This is an election to save democracy. You may ask me, why are you afraid? Please understand. Under the Modi government, democracy is being eroded to such extent that most observers, most intellectuals think we are an electoral autocracy. There is this facade of a democracy, but inside the democracy is completely hollow. No institution functions truly in India with absolute independence and autonomy. Everybody is controlled by the government of India, the Election Commission, the Information Commission, the Human Rights Commission, the Scheduled Caste Commission, the Scheduled Tribes Commission. Even the CAG is controlled by the government. There is gross interference in the judiciary, especially lower judiciary. There is interference in specific cases. Today, in the last 10 years of Modi government, 32 journalists have been killed. Dozens of journalists have been arrested and tried. You all know the case of Siddiqui, who went from Kerala to cover the murder of a girl. And he's been in jail. He was in jail for at least 2.5 years. I'm not aware whether he's still in jail or he's been finally granted bail. Media is completely controlled by the corporates. The major English news channels are controlled by corporates. All the newspapers are virtually controlled by corporates, except some courageous language newspapers. There is gross censorship. Every day the government says, pull this tweet down from X page, pull this out of the Facebook, pull this out of the WhatsApp. What is the business of government to interfere with free expression? Today, even a cartoonist cannot draw a cartoon. Remember what Jawaharlal Nehru told the famous cartoonist, Shankar? Don't spare me, Shankar. I enjoy your cartoons and I know what my faults are. Today, you can't even have a cartoon on Mr. Narendra Modi or his ministers. There is a grave erosion of freedom of speech, expression, freedom to travel. We have to restore democracy. I'm afraid, and I've said this in Tamil Nadu, if Mr. Modi's voted back to power for the 3rd time, he will amend the constitution. He may say whatever he wants to say. He will amend the constitution. He amended the constitution and divided Jammu and Kashmir. Nobody could have even thought that the status of a state which joined the federation can be reduced to union territory. Where is the law which says that? Today, this has happened to Jammu and Kashmir. It can happen to any state. It can happen to UP. it can happen to Tamil Nadu, it can happen to Bengal, it can happen to any state. And he will rule through a lieutenant governor or a governor. Now, this has to be safeguarded. We have to ensure that democratic freedoms are not eroded. Today, Parliament is a shadow of the old Parliament. Not one adjournment motion has been admitted in the Parliament in the last several sessions. Not one adjournment motion. An adjournment motion is intended to discuss a matter of extreme urgency. Are you saying that there is no matter of urgency in India which requires to be discussed in Parliament? Not one adjournment motion has been allowed. Therefore, we have to revitalize these democratic institutions, which we will do if the India bloc is voted to power. I'm afraid if Mr. Modi is voted to power, this will be the true last democratic election. There will be elections like we have in China and Russia and Iran and Hungary. You can have elections, or you have in Venezuela on July 28. If you want to have free, fair elections and democracy, thriving democracy, based on the Westminster principles of parliamentary democracy, we must stop Mr. Modi from coming to power, and the India bloc must regain power. I'm willing to take questions on the subject or any other question related to elections. Thank you.
The major criticism by the LDF here in Kerala against Congress manifesto is the silence on CAA, because the CM has been talking about this day in and day out. So why? Because even the Congress leaders in Kerala have categorically said during the protest that once India bloc is coming to power, they will throw the CAA to the Arabian Sea. But there is not even a word about CAA in your manifesto.
That's not correct. There is no internet here. There's no internet here. Just a moment. I thought it was here. What is it? Which is KPCC.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 0, 7, 8, 9.
Unable to join. No. I asked you.
Apparently. I think what's going on.
You see, in the